And she's none other than our sister Hong Jingyuan. She is the chief of Tzu Compilation Center. And all the important compilations of Tzu history were done by her team and her. And during the COVID period, our editorial group in our Kaohsiung book study, they also had the experience to learn from Sister Hong Jingyuan. And teacher Hong Jingyuan also helped the team to improve the translations and the compilations of the books. So we are really grateful to our teacher Jingyuan. And teacher Jingyuan mentioned that in our book study, we always talk about the positive, the truths, and we do not talk about rumors or unwholesome speech. And teacher Jingyuan even sent me a Teacher's Day card. And she has many handwritten cards received by teacher Jingyuan. And teacher Jingyuan has been coming to our session every year for many, many years. So I always request teacher Jingyuan to come and give us encouragement. And teacher Jingyuan told me that I'm like a bee. And a bee has a longer life, is more resilient than human beings and very persistent. And during 2018, there was the introduction of the Tzu School of Buddhism. And teacher Jingyuan says that we require the effort of many and the right causes and conditions for us to establish our Tzu School of Buddhism. And teacher Jingyuan says that we are compiling all the 8 Dharma footprints in Tzu, carried out by all the volunteers, and she just compiled them into our Dharma treasury. And all the teachings by our master has been compiled and distributed to the whole world, hoping that many people could benefit from these works and these teachings by master. So teacher Meiyun says that, did you notice that the audience is full of people? It's really crowded. And these are the news reports during the COVID period. And teacher Jingyuan says that in the sutras, in the Buddhist sutras, there were already mentions about pandemics. And this is a manifestations of what the sutra has been telling us. And the sutra adaptation performance of the Infinite Meaning Sutra, this is also another major event to showcase the teachings of the Buddha through the musical performance in a grand scale. And this is also showcasing the history of Tzu Chi. And our teacher Jingyuan has always been accompanying our volunteers, especially during all the major events like the Sutra performance. And every week, every Monday, when Master is in Hualien, there will be sharings by the senior staff, and teacher Jingyuan will be one of them. She'll be sharing about our Dharma lineage and the history of Tzu Chi's in the past. Is for us to recollect and remember our aspirations and what we have done in the past. And when Typhoon Herb occurred, Master realized that we need to mobilize the volunteers through the community, to be more efficient and more effective, and to have a shorter response time. And our volunteers exhibited the power of great love during these disasters, despite the heavy rain and wind. And every week, teacher Jingyuan will be sharing all these histories with us. And I'll include some of these uh, images and videos to illustrate what were happening in the past. And recently, teacher Jingyuan just came back from Malaysia, KL Selangor branch, in their 30th anniversary celebration. And even our Jimami, she was also there in Malaysia. And teacher Jingyuan says that whatever we leave behind, whatever we have compiled and leave behind for the future generations, these are all the values. These are very valuable for our future generations. So there was a book compilation about the Tzu Chi Malaysia history and what has been captured and all the footprints in the past, not forgetting those years and not forgetting the vows made in the past. So let us put our hands together. I'm so happy to be with you because you have positive energy. Let us welcome our teacher Jingyuan to talk about the topic on listening, speaking, reading, and writing for the Sutra adaptation. We are unable to see you. Teacher Jingyuan, please show us your. Please turn on your video, your cameras.
有，我的同仁还在旁边。
对，没关系，老师，我们现在就是你在玩一个大惊喜，就是我们已经确认您已经在线上，但是镜头只有看到简报，没有您出现。
We know that you are here with us.
今天的妆容不一样吗？所以要
玩
大惊喜吗？
Is it because you want to give us a big surprise that you are hiding yourself?
你看，老师就是老师哈，即便是这样，还是笑谈说以常进人要来跟我们分享。不过我们还希望能够看见。
And we hope to be able to see our teacher Jingyuan.
好，为了不耽误时
Okay, while waiting for the technical issue to be resolved, I will just continue with this sharing as long as everyone could see the slides, the PPT. Firstly, I'm very grateful to teacher Mei Yun for your introduction. And I was listening to her just now, and she seems to be speaking all in one breath and like a non-stop and putting in a great effort. And teacher Mei mentioned about the Sutra adaptation performance. And today I would like to share with everyone about the history of the sign language performance and how we are able to attract and invite many, many people to come to the audience to watch the Sutra performance. Yeah. Let's look at the compilation and circulation of Sutra treasury. So after the Buddha had passed away more than 2,500 years ago, um, in the past, there were uh, the, the Buddha had many disciples, and the Buddha, there wasn't any recordings at that time, so everybody were just listening to what the Buddha spoke. So Venerable Ananda repeated all the teachings spoken by the Buddha by beginning with the verse, "Thus have I heard," which means this is what the Venerable Ananda had heard from the Buddha, because these teachings are the truth. And so, so today, Master Cheng Yen wants to spread this Buddhist teachings, the Buddha's teachings, to the whole world. So there's this continuation from the time of the Buddha until the present days. And this thread is really the sutra, which is the Dharma teachings by the Buddha. And masters in the past, Master Xuanzang traveled to the West to learn Buddhist scriptures for 17 years. And, and I have watched the documentary about Master Xuanzang, who traveled to the West, to the India, to learn and collect the Buddhist scriptures, and went through a lot of hardships and challenges, and which almost led him to the verge of exhaustion. And of course, there were many great sages and venerables that went to learn and spread the Buddhist scriptures. And And the Buddhist scriptures, they are divided into the three parts. We have the introduction, the main content, and the dissemination. At the end of all sutras, there's the part of dissemination, because the Buddha wanted his teachings to be disseminated to benefit many sentient beings. And so Buddha ordered his disciples to receive, to uphold, recite, and speak to others in order to spread this sutra to future generations.
我们可以透过3C 做很多的事情。那古人当然也不可能只是说啊，那我
And
就一直抄写。那问题是我不认识
during the
字，
early
怎么办？
days,
不会写字的人怎么
the
办？
sutras were
所以
translated
虽然有知识的
in
人去翻译
sermons
的
through
这样的一个经
sermons
典，那也有一些的
and
高僧大
building of
德，他们就会
temples
去
and
说
creating
这样的一个法。那
statues
当然到了相法的时代，还有人去建寺庙啊，就说有这样的一个形
and
象啊，就造了一个佛的样子
some
啊，
of
所以
these
有很多的
teachings were
大
turned
庙
into
越造越
forms
大这样子。
and
那你就看一直到
appearances.
宋代的时候，他大概
And
其实
during the
也是一
Song
个时代
Dynasty,
比较生平的时候，然后这个整个一个比较繁华，那繁华就会有所谓的
the,
娱乐。那既然要娱
during the
乐呢，
Song
我们就要
Dynasty,
说
when
和尚。
people's life
所以
have
各位看我们的
improved
青藏演义哦，其实是
and
很符合时代
they
潮
start
流
to
的，
have
就是说一直做做做，对不
entertainment
对？啊，就一
and
直这样子，只
through
是坐在那里
singing.
听，好像不够，对不对？哎，慢慢的我们就把佛
And
典的
the
故事
art of
拿来说，什
singing
么
was
木莲救母
started
啦，
at
哈，
that
啊，就
time
很多这
to
样的故
repeat the
事，啊，然
verses
后
of the
用唱的。
sutras
然后他就可能在说唱艺术
rather than
啦，
just
来演绎这样
listening
子
to the
啊，所以就留下很多的一个
recitation
历史的
of
宝
the
典呐，
sutras.
哈，像这种宝
It
卷
was in
啊、
the
俗书
form
这
of
些。所以
songs.
我们了解佛经，跟我们认识佛典，跟
And
认识佛陀，其实是先从故
now
事
we
开始。
learn
所以
the
故事变得
sutras
很
and
重
learn
要，
about the
故事
Buddha
变成一
and
种
his
可以流
teachings.
传的说
It's all
法。
from the
你就刚刚讲到
stories,
说，季妈妈
stories
她
from
其
all
实
these
跟
Buddhist
我们一
sutras.
起啦，哈，到这
And they
个
were
雪龙
spread
去。那
through
我必须要试着
singing
保
in
护
this
他，因为
manner.
他已经86岁了。那我们也从在护专的第一届是，他是义德母姐的总干事，我是副总干事，我们其实很久没有在一块。可是这一次呢，我们在30几年之后，我们居然有一个长的时间在一起，然后中间完全没有隔阂。妈咪就讲一句啊，她说：“静媛，为什么我们不常在
And
一起？可是我们在一起却觉得这样的亲呢？”她说：“因为我们之间有法，我们有上人的法，
And
所以
the
我们就是
teacher
同
Jingyuan
一个
says
家，
that
我
there
们就
was
是一
the
家
this
人。”
sister
所
that
以
has
其实
been
是可以
with
去
her for the
印证
past
的，
30
在法
years.
经里面，它其
And
实
they have
有
been
段落在
together
讲，就
because
是
of
善男子
Dharma,
善女人。
because
如
of
果你
a
就是一
master's
句话，
Dharma
哪怕只有
that
一句
binds them
话，你就
together.
是一直的去读它，然后受持读诵，就好像
And
我们的环保志工，他们一直在讲说，
it's like
叔
the
公来不
Lotus
及的啦，
Sutra, chapter 10
叔公
on
咱来
the
爱
Dharma
地球。
masters.
他就只有这样一句话呢，叔公来不及了，爱救地
It's,
球了啊！所以
it
咱要
says
认真
that
做，给咱的子孙
if
有一个好的未来，有一个好
yeah,
的
the
这个
volunteers,
地
even the
球，才
recycling
能够永
volunteers,
续。
they
他
would
们怎么会
just like
懂
to
什么叫
do
永续呢？但
do
是他
what
们
they
从
can
1991
to
年
protect
开
the
始，
earth,
上人说用
to
组长的双手就好
recycle
了
the
看到有
resources
一群人
in
善
order
善的、
to
坚
have
持
a
不懈的，一代一代的在
sustainable
为永
living
续
environment
做
for the
准备。
future
而且我们也
generations.
证明，这的确是地球能够永续的最佳的一个方法。
And
所以，如果我们能够只是一句话，只是这样子的
and if
把
we
它听
just
下来，然后去把它做出
remember
来，那佛
one
陀说这
verse
样的
or
人
one
他就能
sentence
够
of
成正等正
the
觉。
the Buddha's
所以《
Dharma,
金藏演义》为什么上人
and
要
then we
推
can
荐我们的《金
actually
藏演义》？各位
put
有
it
没有想
into
过说，如果
practice
今天我们
and
在听的
realize
时
the
候，大家已
benefit,
经朗朗上口，那是几
just like
十
what
年、
the
将近
Lotus
30几
Sutra
年的时间，
mentioned.
不断的透过各
Even
种的
just
一个
one
方式，
sentence of the
上
Lotus
人不断的
Sutra,
说，
if we
然
were
后
to
呢，我们透
uphold,
过手
read,
语的一个演
recite,
绎，然后我
explain
们
it,
透
and
过
write it
写，然后把
down,
实际的故
and
事
it
放上
make
去，
offerings
哎，你
to
们
the
就慢慢的更加
Tathagata
的
and the
把
Lotus
它录下
Sutra,
来了。所以
then you
2500
know that
年
this
前，佛
person
陀一
is
直
a
在
great
说的是
bodhisattva.
大菩萨，大菩萨。你们不要放弃众生，你们一定要再回来。
And
很
in the
多人说我不
Sutra
要来，不要
adaptation
来了，因为时
performance,
间太
this
隔
is the
了。这个刚
Tzuchi's
讲的众
unique
生实在
way
是太
of
多了。
promoting the Buddha Dharma.
当然还是有菩萨留下来，但是有更多的呢，就选择了他就不要再来了，他就是要修，他
And
不要再轮回这个样子不要再来。可是2500年后，上人一样告诉我们
And
的是要生生世世不断
2,500
的
years
前进，
ago, the
上
Buddha
人一样
spoke
说的
about
是他会
Bodhisattva
再回
Dharma.
来。所以上人
Of
教
course,
我们
there
是
was
什么？如
still
果佛
some
陀
of the
死掉了，因为
his
他的时
disciples
代
who decided
交
not to
通这
return
些
back
各方
to
面
the
都没办法。
samsara
而今天上人教
to
我们的是
liberate
做，
himself.
就是美云
But the
老师
Buddha
说的。
wanted, the
你
Buddha
说再
spoke about
多，
the
你写
Bodhisattva
再多，
Dharma so
如
that
果
we
你没
can
有把它
return
做
back
出来
and
的话，这
continue
一切
to
是没
walk
有
the
用的。
Bodhisattva
所以我
path.
们要行
And
菩萨道。
2,500
那这个
years
行菩
later,
萨道呢，其实我
Master
们一直
talked
在
about
做，也不是那
practicing,
么的理解。可是如果我们
practicing the
今天透过青
Bodhisattva
藏演
path.
义，你就从彩排然后一直到舞
So
台，
from
你就一定不
rehearsal
断的
to
想起
on
这个青
stage
藏
It is to connect with the history of the Buddha's life and Tzuchi's history, and returning to our noble aspirations, and go deep into the sutras through our body, speech, and mind.
精藏的哦，所以你就发现我们透过音乐、手语，还
So
有这样的
you
一个
discover
歌词，
that
然
the
后把它合起
performance
来，那最
elements
重要是有
include the
一种身体
music,
语言。各位知道，
sign
我们其实说
language,
话从
and
来不闭嘴，
lyrics
可是
from
如
the
果我们还要
sutra.
比手语的话，这个就是一个很
And
有
it
意
is
思，就是你的头跟
characterized
你的
by
手，
the
然后对
integration
你的
of the
动作一定
music
要合
and
一，要不然的
text,
话呢，
using
你就
body
会忘记
language
动
to
作，忘
express
记
the
歌
meaning
词，
of
甚
Buddhist
至忘记
sutras
唱。所以这
and
个在唱
conveying
当中，我们就
principles
传达
through
很多的
singing.
道理。那做这些最主要的是要做什么？我说在经演绎之外，
And
其
the
实
main
都
purpose
是为了
of
那一
doing all
场的
this
演出的过程。
is
那
not
个法
just
会终
the
究它还
performance
是
itself,
有一个结束的时候，但
but
是这
rather
个
it's a
法会的精
process.
神其实是要让你
It's
能
a
够有一个
process to
真正
enable
切入
people
心里面
to
的，
let the
让你去
Dharma
受
enter the
持读
mind
诵。所以我们有
and
读书
put
会
into
啊，像高雄这个
practice.
就是读书会哦。只不过呢，一般的社区呢，是因为说我们现在读这本经，我们读了，然后高雄读的是一本大书，一本天地之间包罗
And
万象，但万变不离其中的
our
这样的一个
Kaohsiung
生命
online
的
book
大书，
study
然
is
后我们把它
talking about it's
转成
reading the
用一
book
句
of
话讲，
on
透过历
life,
朝
the
演
book
化
of
啊，
life,
我们就要透过
which
静思法门的
covers
转化，
a
让我们的
wide
生命变成永
scope.
恒的慧命。所以整个演绎其实就是一个非常庄严的灵山
And
法会，
the entire
六字藏的
performance,
菩萨，
Sutra performance
你就
is really
透
a
过的这一些
solemn and
肢体
dignified
语言的一个
Lingsan
方式，
Dharma
经文的
assembly,
意义
the
把它展
gatherings
现
of
出
the
来。各位，
bodhisattvas,
这就是一种
and
义经，
to
这
uh,
就是像玄
to
奘大师，
express
就
the
是像
Dharma,
鸠摩罗什
the
大
true
师一
Dharma.
样啊，他们在做的工作是一样的，
And
因
the
为无
bodhisattva
非就是
volunteers
要
in the
让大家能
performance
够
use
了解
art to
佛法
showcase the
的真
meaning
谛。
of the
那
sutra,
为什么会持经跟
which is
手
another
语
way
要
of
扯上这样的一个
translating
关系？
sutras.
怎么开始的？其实，在1981年的9月，各
So
位知道以前
tracing
的
the
上人都
origin
是
of
禁
Tzu
止
sign language, it
亲自
was
去
back in
赏识，
September
因为那个年代没有
1981 in
那么多的
Tainan.
人嘛，哈。那
After
上人就
Master
带着个
finished
游览车
visiting
来
all
访
the
视，
poor
那时候顶多就一
households,
辆游览车了哈，也不是像现在有那么多的人。
she
那
realized
因为
that
家访的时候啊，我们
she
知道
cannot
哈，常年
communicate
老
with the
弱，有的时候
deaf
你
and
会
the
碰到
mute
聋哑的人，
persons
你怎么去
during the
跟他
home
沟通？可是
visits.
上人大概会一点，因为上人说以前给他们家就是开那个车子，他们家有车，好，那个
And
就那个开车的他就是一个哑巴，所以他大概
Master
可以
knows a
稍微
little
按一
bit
点，他还可以
sign
做到
language
很平
because
坦。
in
所以也在那一
she
次
used
上
to
人
have a
讲到说，
driver
哎，人
at
人
the
皆是有
family
痛
that
的，
is
虽
deaf
然他是
and
聋哑，但是
mute,
我们也要跟着能
and
够去
Master
赏
could
识，
learn a
跟着
little
去
bit of
顺
sign
应。
language.
所以我们会看
But
到现
however,
代的
that
社
is
会，包
not
括美
enough
国，
to
然
communicate
后还有在
with
台湾
the
有没有一些重要的谈话，甚
with
至
the
在疫情
the,
期
the
间，旁边都会有
persons
一
that are
个
receiving help
翻
from
译的，有没有？
Tzu
有一个手语的翻译，你知道那个手语其实就是一个翻译。所以当时上人就跟大家说啊，要去学手语。
and
那当
so
然，大
Master
家就
told
心里面
everyone
心
at
里
that
面的
time
想
that
其
we
实
should
就是有
learn
因
the
缘
sign
之处，因为也
language.
不知道老师在哪里。可是等到护专成立以后，哎，上
And
人就
in
想啊，这个在
1989,
医院里面
when
哈，
Tzu
有时候
Nursing
病人
College
哈
was
在访
established,
视，我们就拿一个东西给他，跟他说
Master
要
hoped the
吃，
students
然后
could
晚上你就
communicate
睡觉啊，
with
可
the
能大
deaf-mute
家就是这
patients
个。
in the
可是
hospital.
你当一个护理人员啊，当一个医生啊，尤其护士有
So
很多
as a
病人要
nurse,
交代的嘛，那你怎么去跟
we
这个
need
病人去
to
沟通呢？
uh,
所以上人说是去上
instruct
课。
or
哎，
care
这
for
个
the
时候我们就会
patients.
有一个重要
And
的
so
名
if the
词，叫做
patient
起
is
源
deaf
者，
or
就
mute,
像
so
慈
the
济这
only
一样。
way is to
没想
use
到当
sign
时
language.
就静英师姐，她就认识了一个
So
聋哑学
Sister
校的老师。 各
Jingyuan,
位，不是她会比手语，是她
she
认识了聋哑学校的老师。师姐也很
deliberately
可爱，她说：“哎，我认
went
识
to
某某
learn
人呢。”
from
上人说：“那你就把他
professionals
带来。”啊，带来了，她说：“啊，
on
我
the
认识
sign
那个陈
language
老师啊，你来帮我
and
们开这
invited
个课。”
teacher Chen
但
Meili
是静英师姐
from
当时呢，哎，
Taipei
不好意思啊，那当
Qizhong
然每一次
School
就陪着来。然后
to
上人就说：“
to
啊，那
formally
你每一次
offer
来，
the
对不
sign
对？
language
那人家那
courses
么厉
in the
害，你就
nursing
请他比一
college.
下。”啊，静英老师呢就开始比啊，所以呢，后来的手语就是从他开始要往下
So
传。那当然
that
你看到，
is
哎，又
the
有重要的
beginning
人物
of
出
the
现啊，这
sign
个也
language
是一
class
个曾经在高雄
in
读书
nursing
会出现
college.
过啊哈。我看没有上过高雄读书会的人，一定是没有名气的人，这样子哈。啊，上过高雄读书会的，一定会变得非常有名气。
Those
这个
who
是
have attended
很有意思的哈。
Kaohsiung
那
book
么这样的
studies,
一个具有魔
they will
法的一
become
个场
popular
域哈。
after attending and sharing.
他就是一个音乐的指挥家嘛，然后他就来了，他自己看了实际的
So,
相关的，他就开始写歌词。
Brother
后来
Guo
看到
Mengyong,
这个37朱道平讲义，他就觉得这个
he's a music
他
conductor.
觉得这个非常的有条理。他就把上人的讲的
So
话，
in 1999, Brother Guo Mengyong compiled a
歌
song
曲以后，那金
in
玉
the
师傅
form
就
of
晓得，那我
verses
们就把
based on his reading insights of the lecture notes on the 37 Aids to Enlightenment. And this 37 Aids to Enlightenment was very, it's an important teachings and highly promoted by the master. And Sister Jingyuan then choreographed the sign language gestures for this song. And the Jingsi Sign Language team performed it during the year-end blessing ceremony. So that was the first time that Tzu performed sutras in sign language musical form. So at that time, everybody was were very happy to watch this, and it conforms to the modern people way of hearing, seeing, and thinking, and spreading the principles to everyone's heart through the beautiful melody, the insightful lyrics, and the interpretation of the sign language movements. And in year 2000, Master asked Brother Wang Duanzhen to write the verses, and Brother Guo Mengyong to compose the music, and Jingsi Sign Language team to perform at the year-end blessing ceremony. This is the performance on the 20 challenges in spiritual practice. So there are 20 most critical challenges, and how should we deal with them? So Master says, as long as you are determined, there will be no difficulty in whatever you do. And as long as you have the will, there is no difficulty in liberation from life and death. And at that time, when Master wanted to raise funds to build Tzu Hospital, the Lesheng leprosy home inmates, Chen Xiaolan, she donated her funeral savings to this hospital building fund. And there's another Lesheng home resident, Ling Ye. She shared her life story to many people. So they have the determination to help others, to build a hospital, to help Master. So they're willing to overcome all difficulties. And even though it is difficult for the poor to give, and it's difficult for the rich to learn principles, in Tzu we help the poor and teachers and taught them that they too can be spiritually rich. And we also teach the rich to help the poor. So the Jingsi aphorism says that don't keep having thoughts of difficulties. We have to overcome difficulties and don't be overcome by them. And Master always says it's difficult not to say 感恩, not to say thank you to all volunteers. During Tzuchi's 35th anniversary in 2001, there was a performance about the Jingsi Global and Tzu Love. And it was performed for the first time at a new stage in Taipei. And all the proceeds were donated to the Project Hope Reconstruction Fund. This was to reconstruct the schools that were damaged by the great earthquake, the 9/21 earthquake. And from the establishment of Tzu to the development of 4 missions and 8 Dharma footprints, a complete interpretation of Tzuchi's 35 years of hard work, and they were performed in this musical performance, sign language performance. And so in all our sutra performances, we will always add in the Tzuchi's histories at the beginning. And there were a total of 80 performers, including the senior commissioners, the faith core team, honorary directors, teachings, and the performers. And 35 years ago, Master started Tzu by establishing the charity works. And when Master saw the scenes on the stage, she said her heart was still bleeding because of that pool of blood on the floor, that give rise to the cause of establishing Tzu. However, the most original seeds planted that gave Master the idea of becoming a monastic was the sudden death of her father, which greatly saddened her due to a blood clot in his brain.
所以上人常常说，医生讲一句话，你知道病人，你知道家属要
And
痛苦一辈子。上人一直觉得，如果他不移动的话，是不是父亲就不会往生？
and
所以上人
she
就开始
regretted
打
that
开了。他第一
she
次
had
其实是大
moved
戏子
her
的主角，
father
当然就被赎
at
妈
that
抓回来
time,
了。
which
所以第二次
causes
上人
his
就跟着
death.
大法师又离家出走啊。各位如果没有
So
具体的目
Master
标，
left
可以
home
随
for the
便离
first
家出
time
走，
and
我也
went
拜
to
过很多。
Shizi
真的是有
Monastery
很明确的目标。
together
他一
with
直在
the
想，他是
with
要
the
出
Dharma
家哈，
Master.
他不是为了去享乐。但是出家的目
And
标在哪？各位可以想象吗？
after
那个
leaving
年代
home,
以前的交
Master
通
wondered,
也没有
where
资
shall I
讯，
go?
也没有 GPS。
Is it
上人
why
不
do I
会
want
往
to
哪
leave
里
home?
去，但
Is
是
it to
他好
explore
深奥，生
life?
命在哪里？
Where is
迷迷
life?
茫茫啊。可是因为
Master
那
was
一
still
滩血，对不对？你
confused.
出家，对啊，他就为了
However,
替我好，
because of the
然后
pool
这
of
样出了
blood,
这个出家相。
she
那
wanted
出家
to
到底要什么？
become
就
a
是读
monastic.
经吗？拜经吗？礼佛拜佛，就这样而已吗？上人也
So
还在寻找，就好像
at that time,
下一个
Master
代
was
不知
thinking
道去
being a
想为
monastic
什么
is
会
it
这样，
just
为
to
什么
recite the
会有这么大的
sutra,
痛苦？为什么会有这么多
to
的争
to
斗？
to pay
原来
homage to
是
the
要让上
sutras?
人
Is that all?
惊觉到说，哎呀，人世间最宝贵的不就
So
是生命
suddenly,
吗？
Master
对
woke up
啊，
because
最
of that
痛苦的不
that
就是
pool
病
of
痛吗？
blood.
如果病痛又缺
Isn't
力量，
life
那
the
不就
most
是最
precious
大的
thing in
축
this
福吗？
world?
所以上人说，这个因
And the
缘来就
most
讲到
painful
我
thing
们
in
做
life
学生，
is
我们
illness.
来组成
To
不
suffer
知天所
illness
天眼
and
观世
lack
音，
of
像我在这
medical
边为你们
treatment,
赞叹，一
isn't
切
this
都
a
是为
major
生。
event
因为男人
in
习
our
惯学，
life?
他们一定问你很
So
多的
it
为
is
什
this
么，可
cause
是
and
你心的
condition
心
that
里头呢，
inspired
他
this
有这么
thought
可怜的哟。
to form
哎
a
呀，很可
thousand
怜，我们来
arm,
帮他
thousand
吧。
eye
所以当上人这样子
Avalokitesvara
一个冒
Bodhisattva
出
in
来
the
的时候，
living
30个
world.
家庭主妇，真的他们那么的爱上人，说圣人你不要离开花莲，我们一起来做。
And
对，我们一起来做
at that time, her
30个家
30,
庭主妇，
30
毛钱
housewife
就可以开
disciples
启这样的一个慈济
told
事业。
masters to
所以上人是
stay
心急
back
无
in
私，心
Hualien,
急有
and
爱
they
啊，
were
就这
willing
一份
to
心啊，让慈济
to
的大
support
爱普遍
masters
全
and
球。 到
to do what
2001年， 你
master
看我们那时候没有停下
wanted
来，
to
其实我
do
们随时都
to
在
do
努力里
charity.
头。那就是这一点点的火种是不能让它灭的。所以慈济人一直很忙，你知道，忙着做很
So
多的事情，
city
从来没有
volunteers are
时间
very
打坐，
busy,
也
and
从来
because
没
there
有
are
时
many
间
many
休息。
things
然
to
后过年
do,
的时候也还在忙，任何一通电话，
and
再来
there's no
就是
time to
50
take a
个人。
rest, even
所以很
during
多的先生看
the
到这
Lunar
条
New
大
Year.
海的改变，都觉得不可思议，这一定是一个很
So
棒的团体。
a
他们
lot
这
of
样的
these
团体是
housewives they were
全球的一个
transformed
团最
and
好
they
的一个
became
经济。
such great
这样的一个营，因为谁没
bodhisattva.
有父母，而且他比较没有这种所谓的
And
宗教
there
的一
was
个
a
很重的一个
musical
色
sign
彩。
language performance on
那
the
这个编写成
sutra
了这个
on
歌
how
词
to
的时候，
repay
哇，这里
parents'
面啊在演
kindness.
的时候啊，大家都非常的感动，而且都会痛哭流涕。为什么？
And
都是想到
everyone
父
were
母，
very
想到
touched
自己
to
的本
watch
相，
this
想
performance
到自己当时怎
because
么会为什么会这
everyone
样
was
做。
reflecting
而
on
在
their
最后的
own
谢幕的时候，上人有一段话，
their own
就是感恩，
actions
就
or
是要
lack of
付出。
filial
你的
piety
感
to
动
their
感恩，
parents.
那你一定要付出，因为身
So,
体是父母给的嘛。你想，你给我一笔钱，我如何让它发挥？从100
so
块变
Master
200
taught
块，
that
变
the
300 块，
gratitude
甚至
means
变1
giving
万块。
because
我们
your
说这是
body
一
was
个不
given
断
by
的
your
增长。
parents.
这个是投资报酬
And
率
some
高。
parents are
是
still
父母给的
alive,
一个
whereas
身体。
some
我
are no
们可能把
longer
自己的
around.
身体变成2个身体、3
However,
个身体，那好像不太
although our
可能， 因
parents
为那
gave
就
us
变成
this
神话，
body,
那就变成神怪。
we have no
可是
ownership
事实上是
rights.
我们
We
透
only
过
have
帮
the
助
right to
很多
use
的
it.
人，因为他生命只有使用权，没
So
有
we
所
need
有
to
权。
make
透
good
过帮
use
助我们
of
好好
our
的把这个
body to
身体
help many
好好的
people.
利用，对不对？最起码来造福人，
Make
是
good
爱
use of
呀，
the
是
body your
爱啊，是
parents
感
gave
恩
you,
呐、
whether
付
your
出的是
parents are
报恩，报
alive
谁
or
的恩？
already passed
报
on.
父母的恩。
At
那这个
least
报
the
恩啊，
body
就
they
是一
gave
个
you
功
can be
德。
used to benefit the the world. And this is the merit and the repayment of kindness of our parents' grace.
早期的时候，我们就是药师法会嘛，因为大家总是希望有一点福报功德，要不然我捐
And
这个钱，所以每一年
masters, in the early days,
大会呢
master
就是
also taught
送这个
taught
药师
the
经，就
12
是每
great
个药师
vows
法
of
会。后来为了
medicine
要办医
Buddha,
院，上人又到这个台北分会，又去讲这个
which
药
was
师经，
later
然后
turned
年轻
into
人的
a
时候，上
Sutra
人又再讲
adaptation
一次，所以上人
performance.
非常非常重视药师经。那我们从这个
Master placed great emphasis on
舍利
the
出藏的时候开
the
始，
medicine
在编
Buddha
本的时候，我
Sutra,
问上人说要从哪一部经开始，
and
要按照顺序嘛？
uh,
上人说
it
你自己决定，好可怕。上人
because
叫我去想，
master
然
really
后开导
believe
我说，
in
那就从药师经开始。上人问我为什么，
establishing
我说因
the
为你讲了
medic
3次，
missions
很
of
重要，是你
medicine
讲3
to
次。
help those
上
who are
人也没有
sick.
讲什么，那我就开始整理。好，那药师经其实就是要对治这种人生百态跟人生的苦难。
And the
它其实
medicine
是一个
Buddha, it's
很好的
really
一
to
个经典。
address
那我
all
们
the
从2003
suffering, the
年
human
从7月一
sufferings,
直到9月，
and
今
the
年
various
全台
aspects
成
of
立，大家
life,
都演了，
and
演了
giving us
几个。那当然
solutions
首先
and
交给
pointing
上人，就是
directly
在
to the
花
life
莲的这个
issues.
文化中心。那所以其实
So
那
there were
年的这个志
31
工
tour
常会啊，7
performances
月
in the
5号的这
whole
个
of
志工早会，
Taiwan.
上人有讲。上人说其
And
实
the
这
first
里的
session
指
was
的是
held at the
因地的菩
Hualien
萨。
Cultural
什么
Center
叫因地菩萨？
in
果地
the
菩
year
萨是已经成就了，
2003.
因地菩萨是我们正在种这颗种子。各位，
And
我
Tzu
们正在培
volunteers are
养自
like
己， 这
living
颗好命的
bodhisattvas
种子，
serving
慧
the
命的
local
种子。
grounds.
药师经呢里面呢，我们
And
也是
the
把这
words
些
in the
因地菩萨
medicine
这些
Buddha
法会在
Sutra,
里面，我们就看到哇，
they
真
are
的很棒，它
simple
都是
yet
慈济人
profound.
所做的一个事情。
Actually,
所以
these are
药师
all the
经之后
things
呢，
that
就开
Tzu
始进入了
volunteers
我
has
们
been
大家
doing.
都很熟悉的，一直到今天
So
我都能
everyone are
保持
very well
唱，
versed,
是
very
因为一下
familiar
每一
with
个人都朗
what
朗
the
上口，
medicine
心经
Buddha
大爱无
Sutra
量义，就是在
uh,
2000多年前的这个很重要
teaches.
的实际的这样的一个精髓。人人心中有佛，行中有法。怎么
And
样走入人群，入群学习，然后去实践佛
the
陀的根本。所以各位看到这一片那个
next is
建议
the
经， 国
sutra,
家也有，
the
所以
sutra
当
on
时真的流
infinite
通非常
meanings.
广，而且无量易经的
And
品
this
已经
this
几乎
sutra
是
was
全
also
省甚至到海外全台湾。
was
那我们
also
当时要比啊，我
performed
真的是
through a
从书本
musical
热脑
sign
道经， 然
language,
后这个三七道品，我真的
which
不瞒各位，我
condenses
在
the
开车的
sutra
时
of
候，
infinite meanings
脑筋里面
and
想
bring
的
the Buddha's
回荡的
teachings
都是那样
to
的
the
一个动作，
modern
然后手在比
era.
的红绿灯的时候都在比那样的一个动作。所以当时这样的一个经藏演绎，那当
And
时上人对
at
这
that
部经
time,
上人非常在意。2006年上人就交代了郭沫庸师兄，所以各位，我们
and
去
in
想
year
一想，如
2006,
果2006年你没有遇上
Masters
，2023年你遇上了，有联系
Master
了，你可以
told
去感受的时候，你会想说：
Brother
天哪，百
Guo
姓
Meng
何其
Yong,
难遭遇！为一大事因缘，
you
我
know,
终
to
于遇上
write
了。
and
所以上人已
compose
经在强调，无量易
the
经是法华
the
经的精
songs
髓，
for the
是精
infinite
神世
meaning
界跟
sutra.
现实人间的融合。它是一个心灵的境界。可是法华经很长啊，28品哎，
But
有这
yeah,
么
the
难？
Lotus
那
Sutra,
你怎么看得懂？上
it's
人就说
very
法华
long.
经
It
很
has
好，简
28
称化啊，
chapters
就是一个精髓
and
啊，
it's
好
more
记好
difficult to
念啊。
understand.
然后刚好在
However, the
2006
infinite
年是
meaning
什么年？各位
sutra
不要忘记
is
40周
much
年，
shorter.
实际的
It's
40周
very
年。上人说
humanistic
这个是
and
实
it's the
际的大
essence
年。
of the true
40是什
Buddhism.
么？不惑。
It
而且
is
上
also
人这
easy
个
to remember and
方
to
向
read.
目标非常明确。我还记得我曾经问过上人说：
So
上人啊，你
this
怎么那么
year
厉害？
is
你年纪轻轻哦，为
Tzuchi's
什么
40th
25
anniversary.
岁啊，成立这个功德会，然后25岁的时候离家啊，其实20岁的时候
And
上人就离家一次。为什么你能够
through
立定目标
Master's
方向，而且你很
early
明确的知
age
道你当时
of
的决定是对的？
becoming a monastics and
上人就
establishing
说，
Tzuchi,
上人跟我说，我也很佩服我自己，
and
我怎
Master
么能够
said,
一决定就是对的，而且还一路坚持下来，走的是一条直线，从这个点到
and
从那个点
and
到
I
新的
was
这个点，
very
始终没有
very
把你
impressed with
改变。
Masters.
各位，你看
She
上
was
人的
able
那个
to
智慧，
set
所
the
以
right
这种无量
directions
经跟法华经
right
就是
from the
实际的
beginning
精神，这
when
个
she
就是我们
started
共
when
修的
she
一个
left home
道场的意思。所以
and
上人希望用
established
过程
Tzuchi
啊，一
and
个
all the
标
way
准
in
固
this
定
straight
下来，
line
所以你就
all
发
the
现
way
了，
till
原来
today.
上人从前面的
And it
三
was
七道品
because
一路的铺
Master
陈下来，到这个时
Master
间
had
点，
been paving the path
他已经为我们
for
铺陈了
for
将
all
近
of us
20年的时间，从我们刚刚讲的
using
第
the
九
Sutra of
九
infinite
年的这样的
meanings.
一个时间，不断的下来，成为全球道场共修的
And
统一团
Master
队。
hoped
就是
that the
两
words
次
and music
用
of
音乐启发
infinite
往生，
meaning
大家
sutra
聚会的时
and
候，
the
你只要
preface
唱，
to
所以
Lotus
我们就发
Sutra
觉说，
can
只
be
要会唱，
made
我们
into a
往生的都
standard
没关系，
version,
因为
which can serve as a unified version for 慈济 people all around the world so that everyone could practice together. And these practices can then be held during the gatherings. And writing lyrics for sutras are very different from ordinary songs. It must be solemn and the composer must be very respectful. And a long time ago, they were Buddhist tunes in the past, in the ancient days, but they were not songs. They were called gathas. That is like poems. And and after the performance on the infinite meanings, there was a time, there was a period where there were no performances, and at that time, Master was teaching us the sutra on the water repentance, the compassionate samadhi water repentance. So in 2011, Master gave the instructions that we need to have the sutra adaptation performance on the water repentance, and there was a requirement that those who participated must observe the vegetarian diet for 108 days. So volunteers seize this opportunity to promote a community-based precepts, observations, and to promote vegetarianism. And they were and they designed veggie cards to record down the number of days that you have been observing vegetarian diet. So at that time, back in 2011, Master already told everyone, to be vegetarian, and starting just from 108 days. So if at that time more people would have adhered to this, who knows? We might not even have COVID-19 in 2020. So Master insisted that everyone to be vegetarian, and even after the 108 days, everyone will be at ease and healthy and continue to be vegetarian after getting used to it. So some people ask Master, can I not be vegetarian? Can I just donate money? Or I just do some of the hard labor work? But Master says no. If you want to be involved in this Water Repentance Sutra, you must be a vegetarian. So even the audience who came to watch the performance, they too have to observe vegetarianism for at least 1 week. And and at that time, there was this brother who attended the Water Repentance Sutra and observed 108 days. And so he asked Masters, oh, I had participated in 2011. Why do I need to attend again in 2012? And Master replied, this is not only for 2012 or 2013, but also 2020. In short, we must always enter the Dharma with our hearts in all life after life. And if the Dharma Sea is no longer promoted to all of you, will you all forget it after the ending of the sutra performance? So Master urged Sister Ciyue not to let the song come to an end, and the Dharma Sea must definitely continue. So Master says that she wanted to give us the Dharma. to let the Dharma into our heart. So everyone need to enter the Sutra treasury through the performance. So the wisdom at dawn at 5:30 in the morning, it's a teaching that Master wants us to listen to every day, and so that we can use the Dharma like a water to cleanse our mind. And if you can't watch during the morning, you can still watch it in the evening. So in the Tzuchi's 50th anniversary, so we had this the essence of infinite meanings that lights up the world with kindness and love, the Sutra adaptation performance. So it started in 2012, December 2012 at Kaohsiung. And more than 1,600 volunteers participated in each session. And including the crew, there were about 3,000 people, with a total of more than 70,000 people attended the 5 sessions. So as Master was watching, she remembered the performer, teacher Huang Ziqun, pulling a thick rope, and the rope was very heavy. So often the one hand is Master's hand is gestured like this, pointing to the direction, and the pace is step by step. So it is easy to say, but it takes a persevering mind to be a bodhisattva that could sustain forever in the world. And we must be determined. This is how I will walk in my life, and this rope has been passed down from generation to generation. And the Sutra adaptation performance uses the stage to express the Buddha Dharma, allowing the Dharma to enter the hearts and practices so it can be sung from generation to generation. And reading through the clouds to listen to the Dharma, speak Dharma, and teach the Dharma. And greatly praise to our Kaohsiung Book Reading Club, using kindness as a pen and speaking out of love to the whole world. So very grateful to everyone. So we are truly grateful to teacher Jingyuan and how she had helped to compile the Tzu history into our Tzu school of Buddhism and the Dharma lineage. And from the past Sutra musical performance all the way to the most recent ones. And the content of teacher Jingyuan is very, very rich and very Dharma based. And all of us who were listening, and we could really feel that the meanings and the teachings that Master really wanted to pass down to us. And teacher Jingyuan is always by the side of Master. And the way she speaks, it's like our Master. It's very gentle and just nice. The pace is just nice. Unlike myself, teacher Mei said, which I speak too fast. And someone commented that every Monday afternoon they would tune in to watch the sharing by Master's disciples, including teacher Jingyuan. And even though we are unable to see teacher Jingyuan's face, but we could hear her voice, which is very, very familiar to all of us. And let's give another applause to teacher Jingyuan. Teacher Jingyuan said, I'm also waving my hand. I'm sorry, I'm unable to to appear to everyone, but I could see all of you. Let's give 2 thumbs up to our teacher Jingyuan.
该笑的部分，虽然笑点没有很多，但是该笑的我们也没有少一抹微笑，至少嘴角都有上。
We were also smiling when you mentioned some jokes during your sharing, and everyone was wondering, why is it that every time teacher Jingyuan share with us is so wonderful, it's so enriching, regardless of the duration of time. So we are truly grateful. Goodbye to teacher Jingyuan.
拜拜。演绎之外，听说读写，不错，用这样的方式。